Welcome to the Locals Only Lounge. I'm your host, Andrew Dyer, joined once again by producer John Cross. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And Brandon Rodriguez. Brandon, what's up?
Not much, nothing but the ceiling.
So, this is the Locals Only Lounge. If you're looking for all of the vital information to being a supporter, I want you to go back and listen to the Loyal Locals podcast, the other pod on your feed, where you will get all of the information about upcoming matches and supporter group activities, as well as our Pride Raiser and other events coming up. Here, we are going to discuss, well, I don't know, John, what's going on?
Hmm. Well, we always talk about how we extend the conversations that are happening in Discord, and um, as usual, as it does occasionally, we get a little flare up of MLS talk and
Is
things
this a
again. And
controversial thing? MLS coming
you know,
stirred up some
it's
stuff.
I and maybe this is why to talk about it a little bit. I think it is for some, but I think for others it ought not to be. Like we know it's coming, it's here, and it's happening. But every once in a while, something happens, and then conversations start up again. And I think, um, just as a general rule, we would all be best served to maybe listen to where people are coming from for some of the things they are saying, and um, to, as always when we're in our Discord, try to not make things or take things personally, because there are people who have very strong feelings, and I think sometimes people conflate other things to go along feelings. For example, you have people who don't like Major League Soccer for an entity and the way it's run, and then some people take that as you're against soccer in San Diego or something, right? I think sometimes people conflate some of these issues, and it makes it hard to have productive conversations. But I think the biggest thing from our standpoint in leadership on the group is individually do whatever is in your heart. Go do and support whatever you'd like to do. Um, but also understand, I guess, on both sides that there are some people who may want to support both teams, and there are some people who may only want to support one team and not give any support to the other
You
team. And
know,
both of
John,
those are okay.
I brought this up in Discord. We solved this problem 2 weeks
Right.
ago
Yeah.
on
I
this
know.
very show, on this very podcast. We went through the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, a range of emotions. We all went through a mangle, and we came out the other end and solve the problem. And I
Solved.
can't believe that this is still a topic to be discussed. But discuss it we must, I guess. So, what stirred all of this was the MLS club is having a supporters meeting tonight at Kilowatt Brewing in Claremont, or Kearney Mesa, on Claremont Boulevard in Kearney Mesa. Um, and this is like a listening session, right? Like this happened with Loyal as well.
Right.
The club, there's going to be supporter groups, and supporter group has to have some level of coordination with the club. It's just a fact of doing business. That's why we get to go into the stadium before everyone else and put our crap in there. No one else can walk into that stadium with a drum, but we
Right.
carry a lot of drums in. So, you know, it's kind of part of it. And, I, well, you know, Jerry Menez, who is one of the founding members, helped found this very supporters group, helped found the locals, and he has been, helping.
Instrumental in the founding of the locals. Yeah.
Yes, like on the Mount Rushmore of locals. He's a
Right.
founding father. Um, so and yeah, you know what? He's got a lot of experience with this sort of thing, and he's involved in the MLS project. He is not an employee of the team, but he is involved with whatever's going to happen on the supporter side. And yeah, he popped into the Discord and told people, "Hey, this is coming. This is a thing happening here. If you want to come out, you can come out." Very innocuous thing to post, right? But this kind of came on the heels of a tweet that I think it was a tweet that was shared where SDFC MLS was saying like, "Oh, we're having listening sessions. We're still interested in what you want our name
Choosing
to be."
the name.
Yeah. Even though it's very obvious, they've already made their minds up that it's either FC San Diego or San Diego FC. At least from the outside, it seems like the writing's on the wall. Although I'm told that might not be 100% tight. Not to burn any sources here, but apparently, the MLS team is listening and they're hearing a lot of people propose an alternative name that they are aware of. Atletico is the maybe a dark horse contender. If there is a name that is not FC, maybe this is the one that could knock it off. They seem like, hey, they're not, opposed to it. I don't know how far along they are. I mean, they do have to. They did promise to release a crest and branding, I believe, by the end of the summer. So I don't know if that's enough time to change the name, but I'm told that they are told Atletico quite a bit, and so they are aware that there's a lot of people who might prefer that name. Brandon, do you have a dog in this fight?
I do. When it comes to the name, at least, if you give me the choice of FCSD or SDFC, personally, I choose FCSD.
Big Barca guy, right?
Not even, no, not just that. I think it's, if you want to go generic, it's different. It's not, I don't think any MLS, or at least none that come to my head, start with FC. Back in the old days, a few years back, I proposed Atletico San Diego back then, and so if you give me the choice between all three, I prefer Atletico. I guess FC Dallas is a good one. That says FC.
Let me tell you, man. Say something wrong on this pod, man, and guess what? If you want to know something, just get it wrong. It's great. I do it all the time. I'll say something that I know. I mean, that I don't know, but I'll say something, and knowing that somebody is going to be there with the net to save me. So I appreciate Jeffrey and Jorge for being there.
No,
Cincinnati.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Well, see, it doesn't feel good, does it? It doesn't feel good.
So if you give me the choice between all three, I'll go Atletico. But yeah, that's good to hear that that might be a dark horse.
John, what do you think?
I mean this with absolutely no disrespect to anyone. I don't care. It's not my team. My team is the Loyal. That team can be named whatever it wants to be named. I don't have a feeling one way or another. I hope the people who support that team are able to be happy with the name that gets picked, but they could be called anything. It doesn't matter to me. I just hope in the long run, again, bigger picture, that I would like to see San Diego be able to support multiple teams, like lots of big cities do. And I would like that, when we get the chance to play each other, we have a good rivalry. And I would also like, in terms of bigger picture San Diego, that as supporters, whatever supporters support that team and our supporters and Sirens and Los Brujos and I'm sorry, I forget for Albion, but their supporter group, but all of us to work together, for our San Diego soccer culture. There's no reason we can't compete when it's game time, but also work together in other areas, especially philanthropic areas and stuff. We don't have to be like other places around the world.
Get on that pride raiser.
Right. I mean, like we don't have to be assholes to each other, right? Even though that might be part of the culture somewhere else. And just because you don't support a team, like I will not support the MLS team. It doesn't mean I hate anybody who goes and supports that MLS team or that I hate that team. It's not my team. I'm ambivalent towards it, right? This is my team. All my energy goes into this team and this team only for me. That's the way I choose to do it. And if we have other supporters who choose to do it a different way, great. You're always welcome here. And I think a lot of people in the long run, and I'm going to keep saying this, that I think we have tremendous potential for growth in the locals and with the loyal, because we do have an ownership that's committed to our community. And I think the ownership group that you have means a ton, a team. That is one of the things that has attracted me to this team. And I think in the long run, as people go and experience some other things, that they'll go try some of this. And I think a lot of those people are going to gravitate back to the locals more and more, or at least our 109 family, not just the locals, Chavos, Fiends, everyone back
it's
in there.
It's just like, I think one of the things that was the most kind of difficult thing in processing the MLS team not being loyal is all of the effort into building the supporter group and build this community. I mean, this YouTube channel, these podcasts, all of the time and energy that we've all put into it. The idea that somebody else is going to be able to do that for on a much larger scale with MLS. And I think that because so many people involved in this supporter group came into it through an MLS effort, that was kind of the goal, is like building something that could transfer over or even grow. And when that is not happening with this club, and we are not doing it, sitting on the sideline and watching other people do the thing that a lot of us would otherwise like to do is kind of difficult. So that's why I'm kind of really rooting for Kevin and Chavos, because this week they did start their a separate Discord for the MLS support side, Chavos San Diego, and they are trying to be that group, that SG that kind of takes the lead on MLS supporter. And I mean, it's got to be someone. Like, why not the people that we know and like and have a lot of fun with at loyal matches? So I'm sure they're at the meeting tonight, and it'll be interesting to see what is built out of it. I think for me, it's like, I just didn't want to see, like, I don't know, people that never bothered to be in 109 to all of a sudden just become like, a huge supporter person because now it's MLS, which is just kind of like, we've actually got a really good thing.
But
at
that's
Torero.
going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable because there are people who look at USL as second division because of the way all our other American sports are run and look at it as inferior. Why would you do that? And I think a lot of them don't make the connection like people make with college sports, which I think tie in a lot more to how we feel about soccer within the different divisions. You have a stronger connection to your community. and I think, they look at it more like AAA baseball or something else, like why, or lower level hockey leagues, and that's the way we're trained in this country, to look at them that way. And there's a lot of people who I'm sure will jump on the bandwagon and will be out there and will have a great time, and they will support the San Diego team. And that's a different way than I choose to do my support for soccer. And I hate, I don't want to use the term like purist. I've heard some people use that, but I come from, I guess, a background that, like, when you really pick your team, like, that's your team. You stick with that team through ups and downs, through thick and thin. You stay with the team. You don't, wander over here and wander over there. And I made a commitment once this team started that I was going to be part of this. And as I've said on multiple podcasts, it has been a better experience than I ever would have expected. We have a better ownership group than I ever would have expected. This core group of people, and how we fill out 109, and really the whole locals all the way through, our hundreds of members that we have, like, it has just been an amazing experience. And I'm sure it will continue. And again, I'm sure some people will dip their toes in the MLS side and look at it. And there will be some people who go to some games, and there will be some people who totally will move over there because that's for them. But I also hope that, not I hope, I am confident that this is also going to be a place that a lot of people find a home for. And when they maybe see things in a different light for soccer support, rather than just top division first, like we do in American sports, and maybe look at it from a different angle and viewpoint, a lot of people will come to appreciate what we do and what we offer, that I think is going to be, it's going to be different. It won't be necessarily the big game, 40,000 people in a stadium experience, because we don't play in a stadium that big, right? We can't do that. But we can have a more intimate, passionate, strong experience in our supporter section.
Man, you said 40,000 people in a stadium, and we forgot to talk about something on the last pod.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not to derail your train of thought.
No, I think this is a good transition. Go.
But we are going to have an incredible opportunity as a supporter group to pack Snapdragon Stadium for a match between the San Diego Loyal and Borussia Dortmund, the second place team in Bundesliga this season, coming over from the Holy Roman Empire itself, Germany, the old Prussian. They've broken through. They're ready to be come to the States and see how a real club plays. I'm glad that they're coming. I did have the chance, so I went to Bridge Barcata tonight and got a chance to chat with people who know about this, and I did ask Weston about whether there would be more Tory green or yellow jerseys at this friendly at Snapdragon, and he basically said it's up to us. I don't know. I don't know who's going to come out of the woodwork to come and cheer for Dortmund. But I don't have the date yet. I do know that I think it's going to be announced officially tomorrow by the club. There was a story in the UT, so the date might already be out there. Like I said,
I thought I heard late July.
That sounds right. I wonder if our barbecue is going to get pushed. We'll see.
Yeah, but I was wondering if there might be a shift for that because of this match. But yeah, that I mean, what an awesome experience for the team, right? I don't know who they're bringing over as part of their American tour, who they're going to play, because right around that same time, Wrexham's playing Man United's youth team, basically, right? So I don't know who we're going to see, but Dortmund always has some good young players, up and coming players anyway, even if it's not their normal first team. Great experience for the team, but also a great opportunity and experience for us, right? All the locals. I would strongly encourage a lot of the locals who maybe don't sit with us, in 109 regularly on a match, maybe this is the one time you come into the supporter section with us,
Also,
and we
the
really,
one time we're going to actually get to have a freaking tailgate. Jeffrey brings it
yeah,
up. He can't wait for a barking lot. I mean, we've had barking lots, but this is like the first like real barking lot that we're going to have a tailgate there at Snapdragon. I don't know, man. I might just go all day. Brandon, are you going to come down for this?
Yeah, that's something I can't miss, right? In my entire life, I've yet to go to one of those summer games where teams from Europe come and play, that have just been more and more popular these last few years. I've yet to go to a single one. So to support my team against a Bundesliga team, that's huge. So yeah, can't miss that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. I couldn't. I was so excited when I heard the news. That's going to be awesome. I hope we can. I, seriously, no matter what you think of Dortmund and stuff, their fans, their supporters are some of the most amazing supporters
The
from
tifos.
around the world.
Oh
The
my
Black
gosh.
Wall, yeah,
The
what they put together.
tifos.
If you are not familiar, you
Incredible.
need to go online and go on YouTube and do a little research. You know, we're they have the Black Wall. We're gonna have to make our Tory Green Wall, right, out there.
So that Tory Green Wall, I was also told that there was a negotiated lower price for supporter tickets. I think it's still going to be. I don't think they're going to be more than $40. I don't know the final price. I'm sure that is coming. So the club did manage to where they don't control everything at the stadium, but they did manage to do us the solid of keeping prices reasonable, as we've seen at Snapdragon. With I
Yeah,
know Mexico's playing a friendly, the Man U Wrexham friendly you mentioned. The prices have just been out of control. It just ridiculous. I listened to Two Balls today. They were talking about the Mexico game. Like the cheapest tickets are still like $70. Like, and those seats are not great seats.
right.
I don't know. But yeah, this is. I think for even for the Wrexham Man U game, I bought the cheapest tickets available with no intention of ever being in that seat. I think we're just going to hang out in the stadium at one of the drinking facilities or something and have our own little party. I think that's the plan. But yeah, so we're going to be able to go and bring your families, and we need to pack that supporters end because this is this is our chance to show what we've built in on a stage that and a we're not playing at Snapdragon anytime else soon that I'm aware of. So this is the moment. This is that chance. I hope that everybody I've ever seen in 109 is here for this one.
Yeah, that's going to be. I know there's been some very loose initial talks, at least among the locals Congress, about do we do a tifo? Like, what do we do? Like, for this is a big match, and I know some initial conversations are going. So I'm sure
Is
there'll be
there
some more bigger
is
conversations in Discord.
do they have can we do one of those ones where you do
I
the pulleys and stuff? I don't know if they have the
Yeah,
mechanism at that stadium.
yes and no. I have heard that they have them for the pulley system for the nets that go behind the field goals for football. They have to raise the nets up. So I think they use the same pulley system, and I have heard that the Sirens tried that at least once. I don't know, and it didn't go
Well,
too
would
hot.
we
So
just like attach the tifo to the net and then roll it into the net? Is it with that? I
I
don't.
don't know what they did. I just from what I heard, and I hope maybe, like you said, if we say something wrong, someone in the chat's going to correct us. So I think there were some issues. So I know people are already
Who
discussing
is the
some of that right
current
now.
director of stadium operations for the locals?
That would be Mr. Nick Duffy.
Nick. Where are you, Nick? I don't think he's in the chat.
No, he might not be right now. I know some weeknights he's busy, so he doesn't always get
Oh, he's
around
in.
to
Yeah, he's doing
listening to us
school.
live.
Yeah. Well, more to come on that. A lot more to come because I think this is going to be a real exciting exclamation point on what is shaping up to be an incredible 2 months of soccer in San Diego. So Saturday is Mexico Cameroon. That's a friendly,
Right.
followed by what comes first, Gold Cup or the Wrexham? Is it Gold Cup first?
Gold Cup, I believe.
We're getting a semifinal, which I also was able to get tickets to before they went crazy. So I'm going to be at that. Hopefully, we get to see the U.S. in that semifinal. If not, I guess I'm watching somebody else. But
Right.
Hey, yo, hey, calm down.
Maybe Costa Rica there.
Maybe Costa Rica. I don't know, but don't say no.
are you coming? Are you coming? Did you get tickets?
I need to buy tickets. It's just I don't want to pay the stupid pricing. So if anyone knows how to get reasonable tickets,
well, I'll tell you what. If it's not the U.S. and Costa Rica is going to be in that match, talk to me. I got 2 tickets.
I will take you up
We'll
on
work
that.
something out. Hit me up on LinkedIn, right?
Exactly. I'll take you up on that offer.
So, John, do you have anything else we need to?
Well, not need to, but there was something I also saw this week after our match with San Antonio, for the red card, and we talked about that in the last show. And I don't remember if this was a San Antonio fan or just someone else around the league, but I remember reading a couple of comments out on social media about people saying how soft the Loyal are. Like, oh, isn't it surprising how this always happens to the Loyal? Like, they just basically need to man up kind of attitude, right? So I was curious I have my own thoughts on this, but I was curious about other people's thoughts because
it's simple.
we do seem to be involved in a few, well, I don't know if we're involved in higher profile things or it's because of what we did in our opening season that anytime something happens, it just garners more attention. Because I know there's been other issues like this around the league this year alone. And anyway, I don't want to go off to what I was saying. I'm curious to see what you guys think of those comments that people make. Is the Loyal soft, or
there are things in this game that should not be in this game?
Absolutely.
There are slurs, there is language, and there is we don't know what this player said to the bench. I've heard it was some along the lines of "Well, F and kill you." Maybe I don't know if that is exactly what it was. I wasn't there; the mics didn't pick it up. But whatever was said was enough to get everybody up and, hey, official, like something needs to be done here. Things are said on the field all the time. And maybe the reason that Loyal is consistently involved in these incidents is that we're not going to put up with this shit. We're not going to put up with slurs. We're not going to put up with language. We're not going to put up with these things that don't belong in the game or on the field. And that's been one of the values from the club since that first season, since they walked off the field in a game that they were winning and would have maybe led to a playoff berth. And they gave that up to take a stand. It's one of the things that endeared the club to a lot of people. And yeah, they're involved in stuff because they've set a precedent of, we're not gonna stand for these things. So yeah, if manning up means tolerating language that doesn't belong on the field, then maybe change your different definition of manning up, which in and of itself is a sexist way to think about things, because that's just the old patriarchy and that whole system rearing its head in casual language. But yeah, I really don't have anything to say to anybody that has an issue with this, because um, you know, talk is one thing, but you know, we've seen action and we've seen this team stand behind these values, so I have no issue with it.
Yeah, the whole if you see something, say something, right?
Yeah, I think
Brendan, what
Andrew,
about you?
Yeah, I think Andrew hit the nail on the head. Loyal has always stood, sorry, grammar, stood for standing up for what is right, right? So we saw that from the first season, and we see it almost every season. Unfortunately, something has to happen, and Loyal always speaks up about it. And John, just like you said, we've seen it in multiple games this year, with or without Loyal in it. I just think it's something that Loyal was very different. Their philosophy and the ownership group is so different than what we see in other sports teams around the world, where maybe something happens and you might just get we're investigating and that's it, right? Loyal will say something right then and there. Social media will make a statement, make it a big deal to put these things to light, right? It's Andrew, like you said, it's the unfortunate part of the game, and it's things that do not belong in this game. And Loyal just brings light to those negativities in this beautiful game. And I think the verbiage was victim, and I don't want to say victim. I think it happens way too much, and Loyal's is trying to make it more visible so it can change. So if that's wrong, then what is right, right?
I mean, it's an oppressive mindset. That you hear this all the time when people talk about anybody standing up for rights. People who stand up for their rights as a trans person, as a gay person, or whatever, as a minority, as a black person, anybody who stands up for their rights. There's somebody to say that they have a victim complex, right? And it's a typical kind of reactionary, like the mindset of the oppressor to devalue and diminish the concerns of those who raise these issues when they come up. So yeah, I mean, like I said, like it's fine with me. I hope they keep, speaking up and standing up for, for what's right.
When I think it's when you hear some of these arguments, kind of some of the things you guys have said, making victims out of people, it's about when people make the arguments against or to keep the status quo, it's about people and character. And I think what the Loyal have done a good job is this focus on behaviors, right? This behavior shouldn't be part of our game. People shouldn't be saying these words. That individuals can change and you don't have to say these things. But I think the flip side of that is, when people say, well, the Loyal are soft, like now we're attacking the person, right? We're attacking the people when, I would say on the Loyal side, they're trying to shine a spotlight on the behavior so that we can eradicate that behavior out of there. And I agree with both of you. I think it's silly when I hear some people say they're soft, but it's the first time I've seen it in a while where quite a few people were going like, oh yeah, well, of course it was the Loyal,
I'll say what
they did not look. Team.
They did not look very soft Saturday night, apart from that first 20 minutes. But they didn't look too soft to me. In fact, they scored 3 unanswered goals, and it came out of that place with the points. So, I mean, did you get showed up by a soft team? Maybe. If that's the case, then what are you?
Right. Well, I think, and I know hearing a couple people on the broadcast repeatedly because they happen to be sitting next to the announcers does not necessarily represent the entire fan base. But some of the stuff that was coming through on the microphones.
Oh, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. So what was coming through?
Well, it was. I would say politely, it was heckling, right? But it was just constant except for some SAFC chants. But it was,
I know there were some
pretty,
boos when like Nick Moon touched the ball or Grant touched the ball.
yeah, and I get that, but that's the kind of thing that I feel like you have put so much energy. Like if we take that game, the San Antonio fan base put so much energy back into our team by doing that. Like I think I don't know. I've never quite understood. I get the frustration. Like if you're a fan and you're unhappy with something, you want to vocalize somehow.
We had our moment in the playoff game.
Yeah, we have, and but I remember playing, and frankly, if I was at an away place and I was playing, and you're getting that kind of response, I think most people it gives you more fuel. Like, yeah, like let's hear it some more. This is why I wish, like for us, I hope that we can, as hard as it is sometimes to just keep our energy directed at our team the whole time. Sometimes we'll have it, people start to get upset, but you're going to you're on the drums, Andrew, and other people.
And that's what we do is whenever things happen,
we direct that energy back into the chants.
We get scored on, things don't go our way. There's always like this nonverbal, because you can't hear each other. There's always nonverbal communication between drummers, capo. Like we will all kind of look at each other and like usually we'll like Dolly is like kind of like the easy one to like just get it started, right? Or
right.
We'll start something. Sometimes if we're already in a chant, we'll just keep playing through it because we have so much power as the drums and with the capos, like we can direct the sound and the energy coming out of the section. And in that playoff game, when things went really bad, there's some things thrown on the field. Obviously, the red cards, none of us were very happy with what was happening. Another thing that happened was we stopped playing and we stopped our chant and we engaged with and reacted to something that was happening on the field. Now, was that the moment to go into one chant or the next? I mean, maybe not. And it was a bad situation. And I understand everybody's emotions. I was feeling them myself. I didn't throw anything, but I was throwing some of the language that might have gotten me a second yellow had I been a player. But it's so important to kind of keep things going and play and be ready and aware of what we need to do to keep things supportive of the team. We don't play games with the whole crowd. We don't play games with the other team. We have one chant that's a little bit of a taunt, right, to other supporters, but that's not all game. And what you said, several times on this pod and in the last pod is focusing our energy on pushing the team forward is the absolute best way to conduct ourselves.
Right. I agree completely. I just want to jump in because I think Brandon needs to sneak out. I want to give him a chance to say goodbye here.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off, but you guys keep the party going. I'm
all out of Diet Coke, man. I don't know. It's been a while.
Thanks to everyone who watched. Good night, and catch me on all socials. Not Rod, and I'll see you guys when I get to see you guys. But thank you guys.
Yeah, get down here, man. Get down here.
I will.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, have a good one.
Later.
Bye, Brandon.
Bye.
All right. Did you have anything else, Andrew?
Well, I don't. Nothing comes to mind. We hit Dortmund, which we neglected to mention in the last show. Jerry wants everybody's LinkedIn handles. I think he's trying to do some networking. Now we could read absolutely unhinged LinkedIn posts because there are some really great ones, but maybe we'll save that for another show. You know, it'd be funny. Like, we should find like, you go to LinkedIn and you type in like a team, like a big team. You should get a bunch of people that work for that team, and we can go and like see if anybody posts like really cringy, like motivational, like motivational, like JPEGs, and like motivational, like today's the day, seize the opportunity, and then there's like a soccer ball, like I don't know. That's the kind of garbage you get on LinkedIn. It's a wild place, man.
I have never used LinkedIn as a well. There's a lot of educators that use LinkedIn, but I don't know. I frequently teachers stay at the same school for pretty much their entire career. It's rare that you move because it's very difficult to move the way a lot of districts do it. You can't take your years of service credit with you. That's why a lot of teachers end up always staying at the same school for their whole career. So there's just not much reason to network unless you're actively looking to go somewhere else. So I just I know a lot of people use it. I just have never had the need.
You're not missing anything. I mean, you're really not. You're not missing anything. It's like, although I will say it's not as bad as Twitter or Facebook are right now. Like, I open Facebook, and I open Facebook about once a week nowadays. And when I open Facebook, it's like the same posts that were I saw a week ago. Like, it is such a broken. The website is does not function well. It's not user friendly. It's so bloated. There's too many features. There's too many of these trackers and these ad things that they're doing. It's unusable. To me, it's unusable. It's really bad. It was pretty smooth, I'd say, from the beginning, or maybe whenever they started the news feed. There didn't used to be a news feed, but I'd say from 2010 to like 2014, 2013, it was pretty smooth and pretty usable, and even sometimes fun to use. But as soon as they like introduced, you used to not be able to reply directly to somebody's comment. It used to just be threaded, and you would have to just be in a long thread under a post. And to me, the moment that the website really took a dive was when they put the replies on the individual comments. It made it so much harder to like troll people with those direct replies. I didn't really like it. Then when they devalued news and really brought up the groups, really, I don't know. It's a bad website. Twitter is not much better nowadays with the paid checks dominating every comment section on that website with just the worst posts of all time. So yeah, I mean, I'm complaining about LinkedIn, but I mean, really, they're all bad. The internet's a bad place.
You got to be choosy. I have Twitter for my soccer shorts, but I follow things that only relate really to soccer and mostly local soccer. So I have a very tightly collated feed, so I don't see a bunch of the other stuff that everybody complains about.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, I mean, we're at about almost 45 minutes. I think this is probably a good as time as any to call it a night and call it a week. Is there anything that you gotta get off your chest before next week?
No, I just do a reminder again on this pod that we're trying to do that book club for. Let me pull it up here. Oh, I don't have it set up on here. I didn't get it set up for this studio here, but the Pirates, Punks, and Politics book that we're doing by Nick Davidson about the St. Pauli Club in Germany. So if you're interested in getting a copy of that book and reading it towards the end of the summer here, we're gonna devote a lounge episode. We're not sure which one. We got to wait and see. It's kind of hard to get a copy of the book, so we're gonna wait for people to get some copies of the books and get a chance to read it, and then we can talk about it. So if you haven't heard that yet and you're interested in participating in, I guess, what we're loosely calling Bums Book Club here, right? The book, again, is Pirates, Punks, and Politics by Nick Davidson.
All right, and with that, we're gonna sign off. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat, and thanks to everybody who will listen to this on their podcast feed. Every week we'll be here. Don't forget to check out the other Bum TV shows and podcasts. Every show that goes on YouTube is also released as a podcast. Personally, I consume everything via pod. That's not everybody's thing, but like, subscribe, rate the podcast if you're using one of the apps that let you rate them. Every little bit helps, especially when we're a relatively small operation in the grand scheme of things. But we really appreciate everybody who listens week in and week out. So, and if you see us at the match or at a watch party, people have started talking to me at watch parties from the pod, which is very cool. So, yeah, please come up and say hi. And yeah, I'll let you buy me a beer. That's fine. Yeah, if you want to.
And we'll see everyone at the game on Friday, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Good night.
Bye.